Hello, good morning, and welcome to forexforsteadyprofit.com. I use the Commitment of Traders report, which comes out every week on a Friday, and I need to give me an idea of market direction. I analyze the ratios of longs to shorts for the commercials and non-commercials, and I also look at the divergence on the pairs, and it gives me an idea of market direction. We'll just go and have a quick look at the charts. So here we have the commitment of traders information in its raw form. You get the non-commercial positions and the commercial positions, long and short, and then you get the change in open interest. And you also get that broken down underneath for longs and shorts for both the commercials and the non-commercials. And we can see this broken down into a graph over a period of time, which also gives us comparatives, which are also very useful to look back on the history. And so we'll go and do that right now. And here we have a graph of the positions over 52 weeks, that's a year, for the commitment of traders of the commercials and non-commercials. And this is for the Australian dollar. This chart is produced by cotbase.com. And you can see here where we got to a low position with the commercials, and we're completely opposite to the speculators, and they've got a long position, so we're short. You can see we had a big drop off in the price of the Australian dollar. Conversely, when we were at a high and very bullish for the commercials, and we were fairly bearish for the non-commercials, that we actually had a hike in the rise of the price of the Australian dollar. This is a very useful tool to be using, and we can show you other ways that we use it and other things that we do with it. So here we have the Australian dollar, US dollar, and we've got the RSI. Now if we put a trend line on the RSI and we wait for it to go above the 69.1 and come back down and cut through it, this gives us a sell signal. Now, this obviously would have been a very good sell signal here. We had a sell signal here indicating this big long fall that we've had. And quite recently, we've had a rise in the price of the Australian dollar, which is just going through the 50 here, and I'm expecting it to turn back down and cut through the trend line, which will give us another sell signal because we have an extreme position of short the commercials and long the non-commercials on the commitment of traders report, and this should be quite a long sustained downward trend, which is always very profitable. Last bit of information, this is Ludwig's divergence calculator, and it works really well, and this helps us with the crosses. These are the currencies against the US dollar, and here we have the crosses calculated, and it gives us a divergence value between the commercials and the non-commercials, and it shows some of the pairs that are of more interest than others. A very useful tool, only available on the Members Centre, and the pairs that are of most interest we do feature on the video on the Members Centre every day, so you get a daily video on those. Hello, good morning and welcome. It's the 8th of January and it's just after 9 o'clock, and we'll start the day with the AUD USD. We've seen a bit of weakness on this pair, a bit of strength's come through on the dollar. So if we just have a quick look at the dollar, it's broke nicely through the trend line and it's starting to come back up. So we're seeing strength come through for the dollar, and that basically is reflected in all the pairs across the board this morning. So as you can see, we came up nicely. We went along my resistance line, and then we've dropped back through a nice angle, and we've cut through the trend line, and that's basically a sell signal. I'm already in it, so I'm not going to add to it, but that's a nice sell signal, so that's what I'm looking for. whoops days, yeah. The commercials have got a long ratio of 1.5 to 1. Now that was, let me think, that was that's Monday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. That was down here. We have gone up a little bit more, and I'm thinking maybe that long ratio might have evaporated. We'll have to see the end of the week, but at the moment we have a sell signal for this. Pound USD, same thing. We've had a red candle this morning. We're down onto this little bit of support that we've got here. I'll just move this line up. There you go. We'll see how that gets through that. There's just a tad more down the bottom there. It's not very strong support, but we'll see how it goes through there. We've got a commercial short ratio of 1.4 to 1, and that was back here somewhere. So we'll see where that goes, and we are pointing nicely down on the RSI. So that's should come down for us this week. USD, Euro, US dollar. We have got an all-time short position by the commercials for the euro. Also on oil, heating oil, and something else. I'll think about that, but we got one more. So there you go. We've had two nice candles down. We've come down at a nice angle again to cut the trend line, and that's what I'm looking for, a nice steep angle. So you show there's a little bit of acceleration in the market to the downside, and we'll see where that goes today, but that looks very nice. USD CAD, we sort of stalled around a little bit of support down the bottom here, the bottoms of these candles over here. A little bit of hard work getting up there, another little bit of support there. So you know, we are on a little bit of support. We have a commercials ratio short for the Canadian dollar of 1.8 to 1, and that was back up here somewhere. So as we're further down, and with that nice candle that we had the other day, we might see that short ratio as increased by the weekend. We've come down nicely. We've hit a support line that I put on the RSI. We've bounced off it, and now we're going to come, I hope, and cut through the trend line, giving us a buy signal. So we'll see where that goes. USD, Swiss franc. We've just had sideways action at the moment. We've got strength in the Swiss franc, and we're just starting to see a little bit of strength come through for the US dollar. We bounced a little bit off the 30.9. We are pointing back up, but we do have a commercial long ratio of 3.5 to 1 for the Swiss franc, which obviously is short for this pair. USD JPY. We can see all these previous sell signals that we've got here, which would have done this quite nicely. We had another one here which didn't really work all that well, but we would have got out. We've just popped above the 50, and I'm looking for this actually to come back down. We've got a commercials long ratio for the Japanese yen, so that's short for this pair. So I am looking for this to turn back down. We've got this is the fourth candle long, so we'll see where that goes to, but I am looking for a shorter position on this. I think we're going to see some strength come through for the yen in the first 2 or 3 weeks of this month. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. We did actually make it up to my target, which was the 0.71869. That was the target they put on. We've actually made it up there, and it is starting to sort of fail, but that is actually a little bit of resistance there. So how we get through that, or we don't get through it, will be quite interesting. We're a bit flat at the top of the RSI now. We poked up above the 69.1. If we just continue sideways, then basically this is going to continue going up. So what I'm looking for here is a nice turn back down, as a nice steep angle. but we have got a 3.6 to 1 long position for the New Zealand dollar. So that's actually increased this week. So we might expect a little bit more strength to this. Silver. We've come up nicely. We've hit the 69.1 and now we're starting to turn down a bit. If I wasn't already in other things, this is a sell signal and I would have taken it. This is a nice climb we've had up here. I just have a quick look how many pips it is, but it's 149. So that's quite nice on the way back down. And again, we come to the dollar, the DXY spot, and we're obviously long this. We've come down, we've bounced off the 30.9. If you see this second bounce off on the RSI, it was slightly higher. Although the candles were about the same height, this shows a little bit of sentiment, and we did get the turn up to the upside. So we'll see how that goes. But a lot of these majors that have gone through, I far prefer them on the crosses, and I do those in the members centre. It's just the way it is. Maybe in 6 months' time, I'll be saying I don't like the crosses. I prefer the majors. But at the moment, I prefer the crosses rather than the majors. So we'll see where that goes, and I'm quite pleased that things are easing off a little bit and starting to go my way. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. Cheers.